So the title of this movie is pretty much the best way to sum up what a lot of people I'm sure were coming out of this movie saying. For me, I was also one of those people, but I was seeing it for the best reasons. So I finally saw Jordan Peele's new film, Nope, which I know released back on the 22nd. I was currently on vacation when it came out, so I had to wait till I got home to eventually watch it. And so here we are now, and I'm about to go give you guys my review on the film. Also, for context, I will not be talking about spoilers. However, I will be giving subtle hints to certain things that do happen in the film that don't give too much of it away, in the sense that I do want to talk about certain things. I feel like if I went into spoilers, it'd probably go on for quite a while. But hey, if you guys want to see a spoiler review from me and hear my thoughts on why I actually really liked this movie and what it did, then please drop a like on the video and comment if you want to see that. So Nope is Jordan Peele's new movie starring Keke Palmer, Daniel Kaluuya, Stephen Yeun, Brandon Pereira, and Michael Wincott, which follows two siblings on a horse ranch in California who discover something wonderful and sinister in the skies above them that is terrorizing them and everyone around the surrounding areas with strange activity. And that right there is pretty much, I think, the best way that you could talk about the plot of the film without giving anything away that actually happens, because even talking about the plot of this movie is basically a spoiler. But with that being said, I don't think it goes without saying, because the trailers do show what the film is essentially about, and that is in fact UFOs and the phenomena of what could come from the sky. I mean, if you want to take on that, I do think the final couple of trailers, they do give the movie away too much, and I think honestly I probably would have been much better going in having not seen them. Before even seeing the movie, I had an idea that that's probably what the movie was going to be about, but I will also be fair and say that you don't know everything from even just watching the trailers. There is so much more to this movie than what is shown there, and the story is pretty much as simple as it gets. It's just about a bunch of people who are either being terrorized or in awe of the phenomenon that is happening in the sky above them. Kind of takes you back to movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which I've actually never seen before, but I've seen clips of, and then you've got other movies like Signs, which it takes inspiration from. Overall, though, here, I'm starting with the things that I like, and I think the cast was great. Everyone here does a really good job with what they are given to do, especially Stephen Yeun, who, no joke, I have not seen since his final season of Walking Dead. I was one of the watchers of that show up until the last couple of seasons, and his season was probably, or at least when he went out, his season was one of the final ones I watched, and for those knowing that, it's been a pretty damn long time since I've seen him in anything. Honestly, I wish we could see this guy more and stuff, because he is a genuine good actor. I will also say at times Daniel Kaluuya does give some weird character traits in his performance, specifically around the idea of not really caring a lot about what's going on around him, and I thought maybe that could have been done a little bit better, but hey, the guy is an Oscar-winning actor, so I'm not going to take anything away from him. He is still really good in the film. Keke Palmer, who this is my first time seeing in anything, gives a lot of energy to the film, and I thought her presence here was really nice, and like Kaluuya, she also does have some moments where I thought her character was a little annoying just from her personality, but overall, again, she is still good in the film. I think maybe my favorite thing about this entire film, though, and I think a lot of people are probably saying the same thing, is just from the way that this film is shot and its cinematography. I would gander that this film was going to get nominated for any Oscar. It would probably 100% be for cinematography and maybe sound design and sound mixing. Both of those things in this film are so well done, to the point where, I kid you not, I was on the edge of my seat at so many points during this film. And to a degree, this is a good segue into the idea around Jordan Peele as the director and how he shapes his films. This guy knows how to create tension in movies, and he just knows how to shoot the scenes very well to create it. The first time I ever saw Get Out, I was immersed from the second it started up. And here now with this movie, the way he and his cinematographer, who by the way is the same guy who did movies like Dunkirk, Tenet, Ad Astra, and my favorite film of all time, Interstellar, they are able to create some of the most visual stunning and tension-filled shots of the year from any film. I would gander that this is arguably maybe the best shot film out of any film that we have had seen this year. There is a particular scene that takes place in a barn that I will not give anything away in, but I genuinely thought I was going to have a heart attack, and I'm a young guy, so that's not really supposed to ever happen. I was just shook. Another thing I actually liked about this movie that I know is the most divisive part of it all is the story, as opposed to how Jordan Peele handles the twist. gist of the entire thing that takes place. For me personally, I would have been fine if he had went either way with how he handled the phenomenon, quote unquote, that takes place, but with the way that he did handle it, I have to give credit to him for taking a ballsy decision on it. I think if I were to pick apart his brain on why he made the decision that he made, I think he went into it thinking that he didn't want to do the most unoriginal thing that we've seen a million times before. I think he wanted to try and do the opposite of what we've seen so many times in like certain alien films or paranormal phenomenon type stuff. And speaking on something else that I personally like that I know a lot of people thought was useless in the film with regards to the story is the whole monkey subplot. So now I'm sure you've heard a lot of people talk about this, but looking at it now, this was where the social commentary of it all came to play in this film, because as you know, in all three of his films, there is some level of social commentary spread throughout. And I have to be honest, I really do see what he was trying to say here with this one. So I'm not against it. However, I will say the problem I had with it is that I do think that some of the scenes he does show with the monkey, and I just think they, looking at it now, they could have been condensed. There are some scenes in this movie revolving around this one subplot that I thought, yeah, okay, I think I get the point. You can probably end the scene here now. And actually, that's kind of where one of my criticisms comes into play, because this movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes long, and I think you could have easily trimmed this movie to just be under 2 hours. I can definitely understand where some people are coming from when they say that the movie is a little too long, and I kind of agree with that. I definitely also do think that the first bit of the film could have picked itself up a little bit more than what it was working with. It felt like there was definitely felt like there were some things that just didn't need to be in the film. I understand that some of it was meant for character development, but again, the idea of condensing the film down a bit probably needed to be put in here. There's also a lot of use of what is known as chapters that some filmmakers like to use in movies, where there's a title of text on screen and it cuts to a certain part of the plot that happens. I don't think that needed to be here personally, so I probably could have done without that. There's also a particular character in this movie that is played by an actor named Michael Wincott, as I mentioned earlier, who is a part of the main cast. He's basically like a film cinematographer in the movie, and I have to say, I could not get a single beat on what this guy's character is supposed to be. I found some of his dialogue to be out of the ordinary, and then a certain decision to be absolutely crazy that he makes near the end of the film. But of course, you could understand why it was in there for the purpose of social commentary, even if it was a stupid decision. But again, even with those criticisms I have, I still found this movie to be very entertaining and enjoyable to watch, which is, I think, the biggest plus that I can give this movie is that it keeps you on your feet wondering and thinking as to what was going to be happening. I think Jordan Peele excels at that with his directing, which is why every time he makes a new movie, I will always be looking forward to it. If I do personally rank all his films, I would definitely go with Get Out at number 1, and then Nope at number 2, and Us at number 3. But I think that's going to do it for this review, guys. Again, if you would like to see a spoiler review of this film for me, just let me know in the comments and like the video. And we've now reached the part of the video where I also want to hear your thoughts on the film as well. Down below in the comments, let me know how you feel about it, if you liked it or disliked it. I just want to hear what you have to say. And as always, if you liked the video and you want to see more, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I would greatly appreciate it. It would help the algorithm and my channel. I will see you guys all in the next review.